This is Uncovering Sports. Welcome to the show. This is Uncovering Sports. I am Cactus Hamilton Baird alongside the Conqueror Brendan Coleman.
All right.
And wow, what a week of sports it's been, especially in the football world. We had a crazy wild card weekend and capped it off with that national championship game the other night. How about that?
Oh, that was a crazy game.
They go to overtime, Georgia scores, and then the rookie, or freshman rather, quarterback throws a beautiful deep ball and wins the game. Can't say his name, but what a pass. What a finish.
What a finish. Roller coaster finish.
Roller coaster.
I had given up on Georgia after they got sacked. 50-yard field goal. Redeemed them. Huge sack by their defense. I think, okay, the game is over. And then there's that pass by, you know his name.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That kid's going to be a star. He looked like a star there. I think he's got what it takes to transition to the NFL in a couple of years. We're going to hear Goodell butchering his name in 2020.
Oh, absolutely.
In the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Marcus Mariota, quarterback.
Not that complicated of a name, by the way.
No, that one's not. New kid, I can't say, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but as far as I'm concerned, Goodell, he can't get a name right. The man can't get anything right.
Yeah. Start practicing now.
Start practicing now. You got 3 years. The other big storyline coming out of that game is now apparently, which happens every time Alabama wins a national championship, is what's Nick Saban going to do next?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to stay there, or is he going to finally jump up to where the big boys play and rumble around in the NFL?
Well, he tried that for a year, and it didn't really work as well. But I'm hearing maybe some New York Giants in his future.
Oh, yeah, there is a coaching opening there.
There is, yeah, and he apparently wants the job.
And they're desperate for some star power at
They
this
are.
point.
New York always focuses on the big stars.
Yep.
None bigger. Or maybe one bigger.
One bigger?
There's another coach in the NFL.
You talking about the other big off-the-field news of the week?
That's what I'm getting at, yeah.
So if you were living under a rock, the biggest dirt sheet in sports, ESPN, dropped a bombshell of a story for us. This doesn't come from NFL.com, so it's not, official storyline. But, they like to sow some storyline seeds into other places sometimes.
Sure.
So apparently there's trouble in paradise. Brady, Garoppolo, Belichick, Robert Kraft, apparently friction there. Garoppolo being more of just a tangent to the storyline than the other three big names up there, right?
Right.
And so you're suggesting that Belichick could be a Giant next season.
I'm just saying it's possible. Anything is possible in the NFL.
And with the way that they've been... I mean, at least, did you read the article?
I did, yeah.
It does seem like they're trying to sow some seeds of discontent, some cracks in the foundation of the dynasty, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So if this is where they want to go with it, are there implications for this season? Are they trying to set up, I can't believe I'm saying this, do the Patriots lose probably to the Steelers in the championship game to sort of fuel fire to the storyline?
I'm not ruling that out anymore. I know last week it was all about Brady versus Breeze. I think there's something to this. Look at what Jimmy Garoppolo has done since he left.
Yeah.
They're building him up real big.
Yeah.
That could have been the Patriots' next guy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's suddenly looks like a megastar in the making in San Francisco. Tom Brady's afraid to be usurped and apparently pulls some strings to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Belichick not happy about that. Might want to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Go to the place where he has the number 2 pick. Picks the next Marcus Mariota.
Right? And rebuilds from there.
Yeah.
It certainly smells like the big off-season drama, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about the whole Rodgers side story thing last week, but this is juicy. Every time they come up with a big, juicy Patriots story in the offseason, it's all we talk about. Think about Deflategate.
Oh, yeah.
Think about Spygate. I don't know what to call this one. Bradygate?
Bradygate?
Patriotgate?
We'll workshop it.
But it definitely seems like if this isn't just BS and this is the NFL sowing some seeds for a story here, then I feel like we do see implications in potentially the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, the dynasty may be over sooner than we expected.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice?
A breath of fresh air.
Let's not count our dead Bradys before they hatch. So, wild card weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Did it live up to the name?
It was pretty wild, yeah.
It was
A little
pretty
bit of
wild.
everything.
I mean, right off the bat, it was wild.
It was, yeah.
Game 1 on Saturday was Titans and Chiefs. Before the game even starts, hours beforehand, the Chiefs announced they are willing to trade their quarterback who is about to start a playoff game for them, Alex Smith, in the offseason. At that point, I'm thinking, all right, well, I know how this one goes.
Yeah. Going into the weekend, I wouldn't have guessed that, but with that news breaking, I knew
Yep.
what we were in for.
Yep. One of the most fun games of the weekend, honestly.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised to saying. I'm gonna say right now, I was wrong last week. I said I kind of buried the idea of that game,
Yeah.
and I think that they knew that too. You know, they were like, all right, we got a couple of weird looking playoff games this weekend. How do we make this thing rock?
Right.
And whether it was those teams or whether it was management deciding that, someone made a right call somewhere because it was a great game.
Did you see the Mariota touchdown pass
That-
to Mariota?
Yes, Marcus Mariota to Marcus Mariota, a fantasy player's dream.
Yeah.
If only that would have happened to the regular season. That was spot of the night, spot of the weekend.
Oh,
I would
by
say.
far, yeah.
That was awesome. And it seems like they're trying to build Derrick Henry into a character that we can connect with also to add some depth to that Titans team beyond Mariota.
I thought the Murray injury was going to be building towards them being undermanned, you know.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be an easy win for the Chiefs. Instead, they went the other way, and now Henry is looking like maybe the future of the team there, with Mariota, of course.
And then on the other side of the ball, there's Alex Smith and the Chiefs. The whole game, I feel like, was a narrative of the Chiefs under Alex Smith. Hot start,
Yep.
big lead, and then fall apart throughout the rest of the game. Shoot themselves in the foot, and then the deal is sealed on them. And what's next for Alex Smith? Because honestly, I don't think it was all his fault in this game. That's not the way I read it. Right? He
Right.
played well, especially after publicly it being announced that he was probably being traded, you know,
Yeah.
with the heir
And-
apparent on the bench.
Yep, and he played last week.
So, I mean, it quickly creates some drama there, right?
Right.
To keep things interesting in the AFC West while John Gruden sets up shop in Oakland, Las Vegas, wherever they are right now.
Yeah, it seems like they're really kind of pinning that one on the refs. They took a lot of flack, especially on .com over there. And so I think they're keeping Smith's value up for wherever he may go, wherever he may land next year.
Sure.
They knew Jeff Triplett was going to be retiring at the end of the year, so they made it into
Yeah. Threw him
public
under the
shaming.
bus.
Yeah.
I mean, I like how they use that, though. If he's going to retire, use him for something, right?
Yeah.
Make him a scapegoat.
Yeah. Go out looking at the lights.
Go out looking at the lights, as they say. Yeah, so it was good. Overall, I mean, I think it was a really well-booked game. It had high points, it had low points, it had interesting stuff going on. It's a 4-star game.
It was the second best game of the weekend.
And then later on that evening, on Saturday night, we have the Falcons taking on the Rams. NFC South going to come out on top here.
A little surprising. I figured the LA market was going to be featured a little longer in
Sure.
the playoffs. But
You think if Wentz would have stayed healthy, they would have had Goff and the Rams win this game to set up maybe the first,
Yep.
Wentz versus Goff showdown?
Yep, the very first one. I think so, yeah, definitely. Missed opportunity there.
Yeah. It makes more sense now, though, because if you look at the games this week, it's the vets versus the new guys, right? And so Goff would have sort of thrown a wrench into that whole narrative. And I feel like you waste Goff going up against the Eagles if Wentz isn't there to
Right.
compare to.
Yeah, they're saving that one
Right.
for the quarterback duel.
So it's a decent game if it's, somewhat predictable. Falcons get up and get to an early lead on the Rams, and then they manage to get a little bit of offense in, but they can't overcome their several mistakes throughout the game. And then the field played a big issue.
Huge issue, yeah.
People are slipping and sliding all over.
Gurley face planted at one point.
Yeah. But then Matt Ryan gets to look like a superhero as he like slides and throws a touchdown at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was pretty sweet.
Gurley kind of didn't play a big factor here. They had Goff throw something like 45 times. So the loss is kind of on the young quarterback.
Sure.
He'll bounce back.
Right.
Inevitably. Gurley looks fine, but maybe not MVP fine
Maybe
anymore.
not MVP fine. Yeah, I think he was getting too many looks that way,
Yeah.
and he can't beat it over Brady, so...
Brady needs one more MVP.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look accomplished enough just yet.
If it all comes falling down this year, at least he has an MVP to win.
Yeah. Matt Bryant goes 4 for 4 on field goals. Perfect. Announcers really sold him on that. If I was a betting man, I'd say they're setting Falcons up for a heartbreaking miss somewhere in the next week or two. Sorry, Falcons fans.
They've had a lot of heartbreak.
They can take it.
Yeah, they're used. That's nothing compared to last year.
So ultimately, there's no wins to go up against Goff if the Rams win. And Sean McVay is this young coach who they can't give a playoff win to that quickly.
Yeah, and a loss doesn't hurt him.
Compared to the Rams last year, he's made them look great.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's Saturday, and then we wake up Sunday morning, and we had the Bills and the Jags. My favorite part about this game was before it even started. During the week, Bills fans donated like $100,000 to Andy Dalton's charity for getting them into the playoffs.
That's Andy Dalton's biggest win ever.
Andy Dalton's biggest win of his career. He finally got a team to the playoffs.
He did.
But that's like the storyline that you can't write. Bills fans just deciding to, go into business for themselves and celebrate. It was beautiful.
It was.
The game, not as
No,
beautiful.
I wish I would have slept in.
I'd like to call it a defensive slugfest, which is I think what they wanted us to call
Right.
it, but I can't in good faith call it that.
That is an insult to defense.
And an insult to offense, frankly.
That's true. That was the biggest offense.
I mean, the winning quarterback throws for 87 yards and rushes for 88 on his own because Fournette can't get going either.
Yeah.
So Blake Bortles wins a playoff game with under 100 yards throwing.
He was
All
sort of,
smiles at the end of the game,
yeah, he was sort of the hero.
I guess. He was the hero that he was the one that didn't mess it up.
Yeah. Like everyone expected.
I was sad when the Bills have a chance and then Tyrod Taylor gets knocked out.
Oh, yeah. That was a scary spot.
Scary spot. He's fine. It was a work.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tyrod probably not going to play in Buffalo next season, but they want him to play somewhere. I think they see something in him because he's fun to watch.
Very exciting.
Yeah. And so put this one on the back of Mr. Scapegoat himself, Nathan Peterman.
Yeah. That's twice this year. I think the Steelers deserve a bye next week.
And I mean, obviously, and so we should talk about that. Obviously, the Jags are going to win this game because the Bills were only here because of circumstances from the end of the season.
Right.
And the Jags set up a good rematch from earlier when they had one of the biggest, most surprising games of the season, where the Jags get 5 interceptions on Ben Roethlisberger in one game. Which, as I was watching, I was like, why is this the way you decided to write this game?
Yeah. Little did we know the Jags were headed for big things.
Right. And I guess headed for this rematch right now.
Yeah.
Where Roethlisberger redeems himself. Does he go like full, 5 TD Big Ben mode to make up for the
It's possible to see that, yeah. I mean, the Jags looked vulnerable late in the season also.
Yep.
Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe, carved them up.
Yep.
Good for them for telling a long-term story here, though. They really built this one up for a couple months.
Yeah, I appreciate that because that was like September. That was like the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So have it wrap back around. And the Steelers have Antonio Brown back. next week, so you kind of think they're set to go off.
Yeah, he's not returning for nothing.
He's not returning for nothing, yeah. Held out for a couple of weeks for the same reason that Gurley tanked in the playoff game here, is he was getting too many looks for MVP, so he gets hurt for a few weeks so that he doesn't play a full season, and they still win some games without him, and so on and so forth. But he's not coming back for no reason.
Yeah.
And then we cap it off with the Panthers and the Saints.
Yeah. This was game of the week.
This was game of the... Oh, yeah, absolutely. This was an awesome game. The Saints come in with a dominant ground game, but they're forced to air it out, right? This is all about making Breeze look like vintage Breeze here.
Vintage Breeze.
You know, Kamara and Ingram both don't do a whole lot in this game, and so Breeze is just carving up the defense. Looking like a Brady challenger, if you will.
Oh, yeah. If it comes to that.
If it comes to that. You have some doubt now?
I just don't know what to think anymore about the Patriots.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, good
They've
point.
done a good job of making me think.
Yeah, they're making you... You know it's working when they're making you doubt.
That's true.
You have all the answers, and yet you still doubt. I mean, they're going to play the Vikings next week, which is a game that I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be a great game. The Vikings have been, one of the fun surprises of the season to have them dominate, to have Case Keenum out of nowhere be 13-3 on a dominant defense. But I do think that Breeze slicing through the Panthers here was to set up that, he can dissect any defense that he wants to, so that even that number one defense of the Vikings is susceptible, to a Hall of Fame quarterback like Drew Brees.
Yeah, I think it was a good move on their part to end with this after the snoozer we had to sit through beforehand.
Yeah, I think it was a well put together weekend.
Definitely, yeah. Some low lows and some very high highs.
Some high highs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in terms of structuring the weekend, they did a smart job. They led off with a hot game. They had a fun one Saturday night. They had to fit the Jags game in somewhere. So sneak it in Sunday morning, or especially the West Coast might be waking up halfway through. Yeah. And then, send us all home with the fireworks.
This is exactly what we expected it to be.
Yeah, I think there was no real surprises here, right? I mean, last week we sort of broke it down and nothing really changed from there to through the weekend.
Yeah, maybe the Titans.
But even then, as soon as that Alex Smith thing came out.
Right, yeah.
And that game could have gone either way because it doesn't really matter. It's just whoever's going to lose to the Patriots next week, right?
Right.
Because even if you think there's cracks in the foundation, it's not going to be next week.
No.
They gave it to us now so that it simmers for a week.
That's true. The slow burn.
The slow burn.
No chance Mariota goes over here?
I think it's fun that they're putting Mariota in against Brady.
Yeah.
But there's no chance that he wins that game.
All right.
Even if he throws 3 touchdowns to himself.
Which he might need with Eric Decker out there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Patriots are going to beat the Titans. Mariota will look good in it because I think they are sold on him as a star.
Yeah.
But Patriots win it.
Has to be a big Brady game.
Has to be a big Brady game, though. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have to see full-on, surefire Brady.
Easy win.
The other game on Saturday is the Falcons and the Eagles, which, while originally slated to be Goff and Wentz, has gone other ways due to Wentz's unfortunate injury. I don't see them doing anything with the Eagles at this point. I think they're sort of abandoning that plan for now until they have Wentz. It does nothing for Matt Ryan to lose to Nick Foles.
Right. The Falcons are the defending NFC champions. I think they get to kind of be that last boss for the winner of the other game.
Yeah. I think that makes sense, right? Yeah. And then Sunday morning, we get to wake up to the Jaguars again.
Sure. That's their slot.
Trying to sneak them in there. This time they're going up against the Steelers, and like we talked about, I think this is a revenge game for Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That formidable Jags D is going to look real bad.
Yeah, and Blake Bortles is going to throw for under 100 yards again.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's his turn for 5 picks.
Ooh, going the other way.
Yeah.
He's due.
Yes.
And then what I'm going to predict right now is game of the week, Saints and Vikings. That's going to be a big one.
You mentioned it already, Breeze, potential Super Bowl candidate against the number 1 defense. He looked sharp. Can he do it again? Can 2 star defenses both fail on one day?
That's true. Do you book the same match twice?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think Breeze carves up the Vikings. Looks like a Hall of Famer. Looks like a Super Bowl champion. Looks like a guy that could take down, last year's NFC champions and moves on. Case Keenum's going to look good in this game. He's going to look like he deserves to be there.
Sure.
So that we set up a big who gets Case Keenum offseason thing, which I'm as surprised as you are to say. Yeah. But they've made him into something, so they might as well do something with him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and it's not going to be the Vikings, so it might as well be the Broncos.
Maybe. You never know. Browns?
So a lot to look forward to this weekend. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
And no matter what happens, although I think we already know what's going to happen, we'll break it down here next week as we then head into the conference championships. In the meantime, if you got questions for us or if you just want to talk back, hit us up on our Twitter, Uncovering Sport. No S, because we also cover classy sports like, equestrian on there. Instagram is a little more casual. That's Uncovering Sports. And we also might have a Facebook. Discover it for yourself. We'll see you here next week. Thanks for listening.